Okay, here we go. We are now live. Another exciting episode of the Legacy Lounge podcast. Man, I am so incredible and just so incredibly grateful to have the man, the myth, the legend, Yanic Dos Santos. With over 2 decades of experience in the life insurance and financial services industry, you've dedicated your career to helping families secure their futures. I know we were talking about how you're a proud parent. You said you got two adventurous boys and a joyful girl, happily married, balancing the business and the professional life and the personal life, balancing getting that harmony between work and family. And before we get started, I gotta say thank you, because one of the things that you may know this, but you may not know the impact that it's had in my life. So you were the first person to really break down IULs to me, IULs and infinite banking. And you said, Tino, I want you to read this book. I'm sure you know what book it is, right?
Yes.
Power of Zero. So I went, got the book, read it a few times, had to get the audio book, and I just got obsessed with this book. So much so that I took a trip to Nashville some while ago just to meet David McKnight in person. Wow. Because of the book that you recommended. And with that, I started learning more about like IULs and the standard deduction when it comes to your retirement account, Social Security. So it really opened up a whole new world for me. And so I really wouldn't have all the knowledge and experience that I have now if it wasn't for you just handing that off to me. So I truly thank you. I'm truly grateful for that. And I just wanted to tell you that, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, so thank you. But let's get into it. 2 decades in the business.
Yes.
Man, first of all, tell people your story, because when you first told me like how you were everywhere, some people think like, okay, where I'm at now when I first start is where I'm going to be in the end, and it's not always like that. So you went around, gathered experience. Better yet, back up. Let's back up. Tell them about you coming to America.
Oh, yes. Many years ago. I'm going to put it out there. But thank you so much for the introduction, Tino. The minute I saw you years ago, we gravitated, and I was like, wow, this is a genuine guy. Let me see what I can do to help, bring value. That's something I always have with me. But back to my story, as a little boy, I knew I wanted to do something extraordinary. I knew I didn't want to stay in the same lane that most, are forced to or choose to. I wanted to, stretch myself a little bit more. And this is we're talking a little boy back in West Africa. And, I had a great upbringing, lived part of my life in Europe, but most of it was in West Africa. And I decided one day that I wanted to come to United States, the land of opportunity, and you just got to have the hunger and an idea, and you have it. You have it made. So in the mid '90s is when my luck turned, and I came to U.S. and started on the East Coast. Started to find myself as a young man without the protection of my parents. And here I am in a country of opportunity. I had to learn the language, you name it. I had to find a place to stay, and yeah, things were moving, but not necessarily the way I was looking at, success. I knew that if I stayed on course with staying focused and doing the right thing, eventually it would happen to me. Most people are always looking at themselves as, a victim. Why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
For me, it was completely different. I'm so excited this is happening to me. Rain or shine, standing at the bus stop, with, 10 degrees outside, your toes are freezing and waiting on the bus. Oh, I remember those days clearly, vividly. But fast forwarding to my first job, construction, and then touching the bridge painting industry in New York. Quickly realized that it wasn't for me, and then getting odd jobs here and there until a friend of a friend introduced me to the insurance industry. And it was very spontaneous how that happened. It wasn't planned. Here I was looking for another job career opportunity, and this friend said, "Why don't you come with me and see if you like what I do?" So I did. Needless to say, this guy was going to his first appointment of the day. I had no idea what that meant. All I knew was you clock in at your job and you clock out when you're done. And at the end of the week, you get paid. And usually, we were getting paid $6, $7 an hour. That's what I came from. And here we have a guy that showed me in less than an hour how to generate a couple grand. I said, hold on a second. How was this possible? And from there, I got my license with the states, and there was no looking back.
I know one of the stories that you told me with the sneakers.
Oh, yes. Yes. I remember vividly this a moment of being in New York for the first time, a kid that just came from Africa and walking the streets of New York, Manhattan, looking at the tall buildings and always wanting to fulfill this dream slash goal that I had as a young teenager. And that was to own my first pair of black Nikes with the white swoosh. And got into the store, and I thought I had a lot of money because $500 was my whole bank at that time.
Yeah.
And here I am taking $100 to buy this pair of sneakers, and I got this cold awakening shower. Hold on a second, that was just one pair of shoes. Needless to say, I said, okay, I need to get a job fast. Because you got to pay rent, you got to eat, and you got to clothe yourself. And if you only have $500, you're not going very far. But it was still fulfilling. It was still, I felt like I was in a movie. It was surreal because nobody should have this much opportunity, right? That's how I was thinking. I can turn right, I can turn left. There's opportunities everywhere. Unfortunately, this is not how it is in the rest of the world. Some places, yes, but the way I was introduced to it in the 90s in the United States, it's something. I mean, it's straight out of a movie.
Yeah.
So from here on, I would tell you, the opportunities are all around you. You just gotta learn how to seize them.
Okay. So, with being in the industry for 2 decades, like what would you? Well, first, what do you believe about the industry? You was talking about the things that you've done in the past and the construction and everything, but why the finance industry? I know we can make a lot of money, but what else does this industry mean to you?
That's a great question. Early, I was fortunate to be introduced to reading. When I came to the United States, I had some friends that were really smart friends, I would say, and a book was passed on to me. And most people know Robert Kiyosaki. It was the cash flow quadrant. So I was introduced to it very, very early. And to my surprise, it changed me because I had no idea that you had these different structure in the society. We kind of know, but we don't know in depth.
Yeah.
And when I read that, I said, hold on a second, I'm in the wrong box. So right away, my mindset started to shift. I said, I need to find something that's going to allow me to continue to grow as an individual. And it was a lot of trial and errors finding the right thing. One thing I did realize, if I wanted to achieve the goals and dreams that I had set for myself, it would be a lot harder doing it with a 9 to 5, you know, earning money versus being an owner of some asset. So quickly, my mind shifted, and I started to look for opportunities where normally people don't look for opportunities. And when I got introduced to the financial industry, it was a no-brainer. Wait a minute, I have to get a license with the state that I live in, and I have to learn financial products, insurance products, and I have to teach individuals that are looking to leverage with these services. It was simple. It was easy for me to go down that path. Now, learning all the material was another story. I started obviously in the final expense industry, and I got to know really well what that entailed after 5-6 years. That was my experience of insurance for my first sort of 5-6 years in the industry.
How was that in the beginning? Because I know I started in final expense as well, and we were out there just door knocking.
Yes. I mean, it was good. It was good. I think everybody should go through that. Uh, you know, People need final expense the way they need all the other products. There's a huge market, and it's not going to go away. So having to grind through that market taught me so many valuable lessons. And everyone deserves what they're looking for. And everybody has a different budget, everybody has different plans. Some are focused on legacies, some are not. Some are just focused on a simple burial structure. I just want my burial to be taken care of and not leave the burden on my loved ones. Perfect. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. So that's the space that we were in, right, starting off. And I learned so much. I learned how to talk to people. I learned how to listen to people. And I learned, how to just to be humble in general. And I would never trade that for anything. I think that was a huge lesson to be taught.
Yeah. So one of the things you said was like how just this industry was a no-brainer for you. Why do you think most people overlook the industry?
Because I think the way it's presented sometimes, it can turn someone away from actually pursuing the industry. And don't get me wrong, there are people that actually purposely scare people,
Wow.
to not come into the industry because for many reasons. Maybe they don't want to deal with the headache of babysitting, lack of better words, right? But this is not an industry that you can just come in and succeed overnight. It doesn't happen. Of course, there's some lucky ones here and there, but that's not the way to look at the opportunity. It requires work. It requires dedication, but most importantly, it requires a decision. You have to make the decision to be in the industry. If you kind of in and out, wishy-washy, one toe in, one toe out, I guarantee you're going to fall where everybody else is. I mean, we know the statistics from this industry. Out of 100 people that come in, 90 plus leave.
Yeah.
Because they can't handle, all the days of hard work, whether that's door knocking, whether that's phone calls. Now it's a lot different now compared to many, many years ago. But everybody has a why. And we all talk about this. How strong is your why? And is it going to sustain you through those hard times?
Yeah, speaking of hard times, being in an industry, I know you've had some hard times. How did you press through those hard times?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's funny that sometimes we look at someone that's successful, and you can't help yourself but saying, well, I want that, but not realizing that there's another question you have to ask yourself. Do you want to pay the price that that person paid in order to achieve that? So we want the glory, but we don't want the work.
Yeah.
And I went through, like everybody else that's been here in this industry for however long you've been, sometimes a year you go through a lot. 10 years, you're going to go through a lot. Oh, I've been through it. But I'm not the person to get on the microphone and share the pains that I've gone through, unless it's asked directly.
Mm-hmm.
If we're in the close quarter, and I can tell the story of, you're going to go hungry at times. You're going to see bills not getting paid. It's going to get hard. It's going to get really hard. And if you really are not in the industry for the right reasons, then obviously you're going to find the easy way out.
Yeah. So, you're saying you're going back to having a strong why, because I know talking to most people, it's like you get right to the edge where you're about to just quit, turn around, give up. Because like we said, 90% of more than 90% turn around and leave.
Mm-hmm.
So what little spark, what little piece of hope or advice can you give somebody? Because it's just like, oh, keep going, but what is it, like a very actionable step or a mindset piece that people would need to push through?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's not just about the magical pill, right? It's a
Mm-hmm.
combination of different actions, and of course the mindset. You have to cultivate your mindset. I did not know that I was going in the right direction for a long time.
Oh wow, that's powerful.
And that was, I was cultivating my mind without knowing that I was cultivating my mind. And you can do that several different ways. The easiest way, obviously, is to have a coach, a mentor that you can bounce back and forth with. Not everybody's privileged with that. I wasn't privileged with that in the beginning. My go-to was books,
Mm.
uh, and the right books, right? Because you're not going to catch me reading a fiction. I don't have time for that, or romance. No. Uh, I'm going to read what's going to help me continue to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, I'm going to get to a point that I need to share with someone. And for me, it was business books, self growth books, anything that will help my intellect, right? And This is how I came across the Power of Zero, the Robert Kiyosaki's, of course, the Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, and many, many, many others. Um Continuously cultivating the mindset, so when I get to that hard time in the industry, my mind is already prepared for it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, what makes an agent give up is because um, the perspective wasn't there. Nobody prepared them for the hard times ahead of them. So when it hit, it was a complete cold shower,
Yeah.
and most people don't voluntarily take a cold shower. Some have found out the secret of the power of cold showers, right? But most people, they prefer nice and comfort zone, the warm shower.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why we look at the whole world. We see how many are, entrepreneurs, self-made, very small percentage. Most people are in the comfort zone,
Yeah.
looking for that, what do you call it? Thank God it's Friday, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But we entrepreneurs, we don't do that. Sometimes I don't even know, oh, it's Christmas tomorrow, I just found out. Or anniversaries, oof, we can't, oof, yeah, because we put our face down, and we go to work, and
Yeah.
every day, to me, every day is Monday. uh,
Mm.
and I love it. I'm blessed that I have come to this point, because I remember those days of, looking for the magic pill, asking the very first successful person that I knew was successful that I can reach. hey man, what's the magical pill? How come you making it this way? And to hear the answer that I was not expecting to hear, and you know, being like this, like I'm ready to write my journal because I'm going to get the whole thing right now. And for you to get an answer so short that you don't know what to say after that, such as "don't quit."
Mm-hmm.
Don't quit. No, no, no. What's the whole thing? What's the secret sauce?
Mm-hmm.
Don't quit is not enough. Yes, it is. Looking back now, I'm like, oh my God. Yes, don't quit. That's it. Don't quit. But it's easier said than done. What else can you give that person besides don't quit?
Yeah.
Right. You got to stimulate your mind.
Oh man, because I know it definitely does boil down to don't quit. It is that simple. And I know for me, it was just, hey, I already put in so much work. I built in so much momentum. It's gotta be right around the corner. It's gotta be right around the corner.
Yes.
Oh, it's not around this corner. It's
Yep.
around the next corner. Oh,
Yep.
nope, it's not around. Okay, it's the next corner. And
Yep.
so it's just like I don't want to take all that momentum and just throw it away and then having to start from zero.
100%. It's so simple. I mean, we look at all successful people in the world. Let's look at one of the successful individual that everybody knows across the world right now, Elon Musk, for example. We only look at his successes. How many times did he fail? People don't look at those things. I mean, Jeff Bezos, Amazon, how many years back to back to back to back did he did he lose money
Yeah,
until he got to the place that he's in today?
yeah,
These are the things that I would say, on top of don't quit, but learn to develop your patience. Because if you are looking at the microwave return, which a lot are doing now, again, depends on what you're doing. Are you in the cryptocurrency space? Maybe that can work different. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. But a career usually takes longer. Even going to school, you know, college degree, 4 years, doctor's degree. I mean, the masters.
yeah.
It takes time, 10 years plus,
Yeah.
before you can go out there and do what you do best.
Yeah, that's amazing because I know just not quitting and keep going, that perseverance, and then you realize that you're changing over time as well. You're not the same person that you were yesterday or the day before or the day before. And you're like, oh, I want to have what you have. I want to have what this person has. And then not realizing the process that they had to go through to become that person.
Yep.
And then you look back and you're like, oh, I'm a different person. There was no way
100.
I could have what they have without having to become the type of
Yes,
person that they are. So, yeah,
that is so big, because most people think that they have to focus on an amount, for example, that they have to reach. I don't. It could be 10,000, 100,000. Oh, I got to get. No, you got to focus on the person that you have to become
hmm
to attract that wealth.
yeah,
And that's something that I had to learn through the years. Because as a young person, obviously you're looking at a meter, right? I got to hit this meter. I got to hit that meter. No, what meter do you have to hit inside of yourself first?
mm,
And that comes first.
yeah,
Sometimes, and this is why you see a lot of people not hitting those plateaus or those levels, because they haven't hit it here and here first. They're still struggling to build those first. So you're not going to get that the other monetary level without hitting it first.
yeah. It reminds me of like what we do when we're helping clients and we're explaining compound interest and
Oh,
everything and how the money works. But I'm like, it's the same thing on the personal side. Like you get
100%.
that compound development, just
Yes.
like how you get that compound interest on the finance, and it's always a great return. So even with
100%.
that being said, like how has the industry changed your life? Like you went, you worked on yourself, you dug up the roots and you planted the seeds, and then tell us about like an experience where you're like, I'm able to pick the fruit of my labor, and it was just like a sweet victory moment for you?
Oh my gosh. There's been several, of course, throughout the years. You break barriers, right?
Mm-hmm.
You set those targets and you hit them. And every time you hit them, I've hit many targets as a single individual, right? Um, no kids, no wife. It was one thing. But when you get married and you have a family and you hit those targets, and you're able to put your children in the best schools, you know, never say no to your family because you can't afford it. Vacations, you name it, birthday parties, but most important, health wise, everybody's there, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and as a family, you can fulfill your spiritual side as well. All of those things are able to be accomplished because the number one burden that most people have is the financial burden. Sometimes you can't go on that birthday party or that vacation, or you can't buy this or that because budget doesn't allow it. But
Yeah.
with this industry, whatever you put in, you will get out. Just be a little patient, but it will happen. And I'm a testament of that. Um, you know, now we traveled in a way that I couldn't do before,
Yeah.
right? My wife loves vacations, and so does my children. To be able to go to any part of the world and just look at them being happy, because that's what a provider does and a protector. You feel that fulfillment. And talking to any father here, you know what I mean. Uh, to be able to see your family super super happy because of your labor, all the sacrifices that you have made, leaving the office 11, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, when nobody sees you put in the work, but then you see it in your loved one's face. Priceless, priceless.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I know I was reading the quotes like the price of greatness is paid in the dark and in the shadows. Like
That's it.
you don't see that. Like
That's
you
it.
know, again, all the experience that you've had from then till now, man, that is truly, truly, truly amazing. Let me ask you this. You know, what's your take on like IULs? Everybody thinks that IULs, this new thing, even though they've been around since like the 90s.
Yeah, they've been
Yeah.
around for a while. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, IUL is a great product. Everything serves a purpose. I tell my clients all the time, there's three types of insurance out there when it comes to life insurance. You have your whole life, you have your term life, you have universal life. Which one is better? Is the follow-up question that I always get. They all serve a purpose.
Yeah.
The question is, where are you in life? And according to where you are in life, one of these are going to serve you the best, or sometimes a combination of. But lately, we have seen that a lot of people are more focused on building a nest egg, one, wanting to leave a legacy for the next generation, two, also wanted to have peace of mind in case something happens to them physically, like a chronic situation, critical injury, you name it. They want that. And most importantly, not wanting to pay taxes or reduce their taxes as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? When I hear that from a client, obviously they're describing to me what an IUL is, but they don't even know that it's called an IUL. What is an IUL? It's an index universal life. It's a type of insurance that we are leveraging to create wealth for a client in a safe way that's not going to have the ups and downs of a market. And you have this huge life insurance on the other side that's going to go to either you while you're alive, to take care of these living situations that I just mentioned, or when you pass, your loved ones are going to get that tax free. But in the meantime, when you retire, you're also able to turn this income stream, this extra income stream from this so-called IUL. And this is why people are so attracted to it, including myself.
Yeah, especially in the day and age of information and social media and everything, it seems like everybody wants an IUL. And I was talking to somebody not too long ago, and they were like, "Hey, I want pretty much like 100 grand in 5 years, but I'm putting in $25 a month," and I'm just like, "Oh, okay, that's not really going to work."
No.
So who who like who is an IUL not for? Because everybody wants it. And I know sometimes it's like we don't want to say no, and so you'll have people sell it anyway, but who is it not for?
Well, that's a great question. So I'll start with this. IUL is for everyone. From the age of 1 to 85, anyone can qualify for an IUL if they are healthy enough
Mm-hmm.
and if they have the budget for that specific age. Obviously, we know that insurance is more expensive as you get older.
Yeah.
So some people don't play in the first quarter, meaning they don't get an insurance policy from 0 to 25. They don't get it in the second quarter from 25 to 50. They don't get it in the third quarter, 50 to 75. They turn 76, 77, and they're looking for insurance. Hold on a second now, person. I know you just heard this from your neighbor, your brother, your uncle, that new thing that's making people rich. Yes and no. We have to realize that now you are 76 and your budget, like you mentioned earlier, is not there. So this product is not going to work. It's that simple. Now, if you are way younger than that, obviously you have time on your side. Mm-hmm. So this is, for example, why we encourage parents to start it off as early as possible for their children. As early as 2 weeks old. Your baby got a Social Security? Get them an IUL. Why? Because the cost of insurance is so low that you have the opportunity to save so much and grow, compounding your cash value, your savings inside of this policy. So the earlier the better. The later, you just got to play the catch-up game, and that's the way it works.
Yeah, it reminds me of I was talking to this lady a few weeks ago, and she was telling me how she had the Gerber Grow Up Plan for her children. And she said that she didn't realize the cash that was in it until after she canceled the policy so she could put her children on her work insurance. And she's like, why didn't anybody tell me that? And I'm like, well, I mean, there's policies now that perform way better than that, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Gerber, already somebody have something versus nothing.
Yeah.
Right? Many years ago, people didn't know better. Gerber did wonderful marketing and to put themselves out there the way they did. Mm-hmm. And so people gravitated by all means, right? But it's just like a 2005 Toyota Camry versus 2025 Toyota Camry. You're going to see the difference. How smooth the ride is, all the features, and so on and so forth. Same thing with insurance. So do you want a 2005 Gerber policy or do you want a 2025 IUL? It's almost like that.
Yeah.
But again, better to have something than nothing.
So let's talk about retirement, because I know that's another thing that you help people with. Yes. And like how you was mentioning the example of the person who's 76, and sometimes you talk to people, they're like, I want to retire next year. Oh, it's like whoa. But or even better than that, the I hate annuity conversation. Oh, because again, thinking back to the old versus the new.
Yeah.
Can you shine some light on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll start with the annuity, for example. Um, what's an annuity? It's not a life insurance product, but an annuity is, think of it as a CD or an IRA, right? Um, Most people are familiar with CDs or IRAs, where you have money growing steadily, right, in the market. Your IRA could be in the market doing ups and downs, the volatility of the market. For those that are not familiar with the market, yes, the market goes up and the market comes down. When it goes up, obviously, whatever account you have is growing. But when the market goes down, so will your nest egg. The question that I have for my clients is, how comfortable are you with that? Not at all, right? Because how can you plan for your retirement if you have this social security almost going up and down? Everybody's so comfortable with social security that it's not going to go anywhere or it's not going to go down. It is what it is when I retire at 62, 65, 67, if it's still there. But that's another conversation. Um, but they don't look at their other retirement accounts, like an IRA, for example. It's going to ride the market. But an annuity, an index annuity, the reason why I love index annuities is because it stops the bleeding. And what I mean by that is you no longer have to panic. Oh my God, the market is crashing. How much am I losing in my retirement account sitting in an index annuity? You are losing $0 because we have what we call a floor. So that's the number one peace of mind. Number two is you can get some great returns inside of an annuity. And there's some other extra features and benefits that you can take advantage of. There's so many different types of annuities out there. And of course, if you decide to go that route, get with a trusted agent that can break it down for you, and you guys can come to a conclusion to see which one fits you best. That will be my recommendation on the annuity space. Of course, Tino, you're doing a lot of that as well. So yeah, whoever's watching this, reach out to Tino. He can definitely point you in the right direction. So we've been doing that for many years, and we enjoy it. When it comes to, what was the second question you had there? Um,
Yeah, just retirement, like
Retirement,
overall.
yes.
There's about almost 30 million old retirement accounts that
Mhm.
people have left at their old job, or
Yep.
people are so concerned with hey, I can get 20, 30, 40% in the market. I tell people, like, the only thing that's guaranteed is a loss. You never know when it's gonna. I can't tell you exactly when you're gonna lose money,
Yeah.
but you're guaranteed to lose money versus how you were saying with the floor and the annuity, you don't lose any money.
Yeah, it's all about what's your risk tolerance, right? For most people, if you say, "Would you be okay making 50% return on your retirement account?" The answer would be yes. If you follow up that question with, "Are you comfortable losing 50% on your retirement account?" The answer is no. So that follows the question. Wherever you can make a lot, that means you can lose a lot. That's the way it's designed. But if you are okay with having guarantees that you're not going to lose anything, your ceiling of growth obviously is lower than that 50% growth. And
Mm-hmm.
if you're okay with being conservative, then an index annuity is for you. If you're okay with not wanting to lose money, index annuity is good for you. But if you're a gambler and this is extra money, go right ahead. Yes, of course, mutual fund, IRA, stocks, bonds, CD, wherever you want.
Yeah, crypto. I know a few people got all their money in crypto,
Yeah.
100%.
Yes. I mean, the world is shifting. We know crypto is not something that we should ignore. It has a space, obviously, especially with the government entities, backing it now in some areas. So, precious metals, we know that gold, silver, all of those metals that are turning the market. Diversify your portfolio, and of course, we can't forget real estate.
Oh yeah.
Real estate is there too.
Mm-hmm.
So when we look at retirees, the first question is, let's take a look at your portfolio. Oh, I don't have one. Oh, okay, well, let's build one then.
Yeah.
Or versus sometimes, you have people that have been planning for years, and you can see they have real estate property, they have cryptos, they have the precious metals, they have mutual funds. That's very, very, very well put. We can tweak that. We can tweak it. And sometimes we don't have to. I have walked away from clients and congratulated them and said, everything you have here is excellent. Don't change anything. That happens too. And I love when I see that. But I just want more people to be in that position. And we can't forget to talk about something when it comes to retirement. There's a threshold that the IRS looks at as far as how much money you can make when you retire, as a single individual or as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
So know that before you acquire these retirement accounts, that's going to count towards this threshold. If you surpass this threshold, then you're liable for taxes. And it can go all the way up to 85% tax on your Social Security.
Yeah.
So that's another thing to consider for retirement. And this is why it's important to have somebody there to guide you.
Yeah, especially because these things change all the time. Like when Social Security was first introduced, it was like, we're never going to tax this thing. Fast forward till today, you can lose, you get 85% of it taxed.
Yes, 100%.
Man, yes. Oh man. So real quick, how would you explain infinite banking to people? Because I know especially when I was transitioning out of the final expense world, I saw people who had policies and they borrowed the money from the policy and just poof, gone. And it was like, okay, like, yes, you could do that, but I don't think the whole thing was really explained and packaged in a way. And then it's like, oh, why did my policy lapse?
Got it. Yeah. First of all, I want to say infinite banking is also a great vehicle. It's a concept, right? It's a great option out there that not a lot of people are familiar with. And sometimes what I see is on social media, I see people commingling infinite banking with IUL. They're two different things. They serve the purpose that they serve, and you can do different things with them, and they grow differently as well. Depending on what room you find yourself in, one is going to say that IUL is better than infinite banking, and infinite banking is better than index universal life. So IBC and IUL, two different concepts. They're not investment products, by the way. I have to put that out. Infinite banking for me is great because it gives you a little bit extra, what's the word I'm looking for? Peace of mind, because of the way it grows in the back. So we know that there's two types of companies out there. You have the shareholder companies, and then you have the mutual companies. So mutual companies, when the profit is gathered at the end of the year, the fiscal year, they distribute the profits among the policyholders. And when you have stock companies, they distribute the profit among the shareholders, right? So big difference on how your policy is going to grow. So you getting dividends on the IBC, infinite banking concept. Dividends, no matter what, which is great. So I like that. And of course, you have all the other extra benefits in there, the living benefits. It's designed in a way that you can dump more money into it without having to trigger what we avoid like a plague, which is taxes.
Yeah.
So infinite banking is not for everyone. So it's up to that agent to find out what type of client they're sitting in front of and what that client is trying to accomplish, and then be the bridge with either an IUL, infinite banking, or an annuity, premium finance, you name it. That's their agent's job.
Yeah, yeah. So that's really good on the IBC side. Now, can you explain why an IUL should not be used for IBC?
Um, oh, that's a tough one, Tino. You're gonna put me. No, I'm just kidding. I, I'm actually going to.
Because
Uh,
I see people who do it and they're having success, but they're a little bit more savvy in watching it, and I'm just like, okay,
Correct.
fine.
Can you make an IUL look like an IBC? Very close, very
Hmm.
close. Again, with experience, and with an experienced agent, they will know how to tweak it. So I know how to do it with a couple carriers, and but there's limitation on the IUL side to make it look like an IBC product, infinite banking. And the reason is how much money can you pack into these structures. Then there's also restriction from states of things that you can and cannot do.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go down this rabbit hole, but an IUL can be structured to look very close to what an IBC is and
Mhm.
represent. But at the end of the day, they grow differently in the background. One is credited through index growth, mimicking the market, not being in the market, and then one is being credited through dividends.
Yeah.
And one, if the market closes out at negative or zero, then that index fund, that IUL, is not going to get credited. On the other hand, if the market closes at zero and you have an IBC, you're still going to get that dividend.
Hmm.
So that's the background.
Yeah.
Again,
It's just having those
not
guarantees.
yes, but again, that's not talking down on IUL by all means,
Hmm.
because we know that you're not going to get 2 and 3 years negative markets throughout the course of life, right?
Yeah.
But expect that it could be a zero 1 year, but then you can bounce back up to a huge number and then a little lower number and so on and so forth.
Hmm.
Versus you have this IBC, slow but steady, slow but steady. Now, back to your question, some people taking money out of these products, an IBC, for example, and then it cancels. Well, it's designed for you to leverage, but not for you to, run it down to bare bones and not
Yeah.
replenishing it. It's just like a credit card. If
Yes.
you have a credit card with $100,000 or $1,000 spending limit, when you swipe that card, do you pay the credit card back or no? Yes, you do. Why would you not pay the credit card back? Because you don't want your credit score to go down. You don't want you don't want all that negativity following you. It's a
Hmm.
responsibility. You borrowing the money, so you give it back
Hmm.
to the credit card company. But on an IBC, on an IUL, either or, when you borrow the money, you borrowing it from yourself.
So
That's
pay
the
yourself
difference.
back.
What is that?
I said pay yourself back.
Pay yourself back, because now it's like having your cake and eat it too. When you set up the structure and you really understand it, hopefully the agent is explaining it to the client, and the light bulb's going to light up. Oh my God, why didn't I do this way before? Like, for example, you want to go buy a car, right? The car costs $50,000. You have $50,000 sitting in a bank account. And you have an 800 credit score, supposedly. You have options. You can finance the car, you can lease the car, you can get the 50,000 out of your bank and pay for the car, right?
Hmm.
So let's go through the options. If you finance the car, there's going to be a finance charge, right? Okay,
Yeah.
who's getting that finance charge? The lender. And you keep paying, hopefully from that 50,000 in your bank account every month, you pay it, and you depleting your 50,000. Boom, get it. Now imagine if the lender was you and you paying yourself. That's what you're doing with an infinite banking. You the borrower and the lender at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And we can show you that in the numbers, because not only are you getting this without a bunch of applications that you have to fill out and meet certain criteria. No, you going into your policy, click 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 on the computer, and you transfer it to your traditional bank account quick.
Mm-hmm.
Worst case scenario, 48 hours is in your bank account.
Yeah.
Now you have the 50 grand from your IBC in your traditional bank. Pay the car, right? One option, one solution. And then replenish the loan that you took out. So you don't have a loan out there. You have a loan for yourself. But then you're getting the dividends at the end of the year. That's going to be higher than the interest rate that you're getting charged inside of your IBC. We can go down the rabbit hole, but I'll leave it there.
Okay. So then, and this will be the last thing for now. What will be the main benefits for like a business owner, or because I'm seeing now also you have business owners and then you have a lot of people transitioning out of their business, especially a lot of service-based business, the handymen, the HVAC people, because it's like, oh, they got too old and they can't really do the work anymore. How can these products and these solutions be a benefit to them?
That's a great question. And we know that a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners don't have a proper retirement plan. They don't have liquid cash accessible. The cash flow is important. So regardless if you're about to, buy yourself out of your business, or if you're looking to simply be in a safe position and knowing that you're going to have a consistent retirement every single year coming in. An infinite banking concept is excellent. An IUL is an option. Premium financing is an option, depending on the age of that person and how much money they want to put in. And of course, what are they looking to, take out? What is going to cover their lifestyle, current or future? So once we know those numbers, okay, so you want 200 grand every year for the rest of your life as an income. Okay, so we need to put X amount of dollars for the next 5 years into this program, and then sit back and let it do its thing. Those are the conversations that I have with certain business owners that don't have a plan, and they're looking for something. Several. I have a doctor right now that's looking to build a legacy for his whole family. So he wants X amount of dollars for the rest of his life, and so for his wife and for his children. Give him the final numbers, what he needs to put in for the next 5 years. There it is.
Yeah, I love that you broke it down, especially going from the end goal backwards, because sometimes having these conversations, no matter people outside of the finance industry, they will hear these conversations, maybe even watch this and think that it's magic. Like, how are they able to do that? But I tell people all the time, it's not magic, it's just math. You want to have X amount of dollars for the rest of your life. Okay, well, how much do we need to put in to get that return back?
Yeah. And we have several tools, illustrations that we can do, and we can look at those numbers and tweak them accordingly. Because I see this a lot. Like business owners, oh my goodness, they don't have that 401k. They don't have, that preparation for when they are done. All they're thinking is, I could just sell my business and then get the cash and do whatever I need to do.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. How realistic is it that you're going to sell your business in the time frame that you need that liquid cash? It can happen, but sometimes, what if you get caught up in logistics, like you don't have the right paperwork, or there's something missing because the attorney said this or that? What if you get to that situation and you were banking on selling your business, liquidating your business, versus having hundreds of thousands of dollars or even millions of dollars in one of these programs, just sitting there waiting for you to click a button so you can take the money out? Peace of mind.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not to mention, you're going to have insurance next to these accounts. The question is, why do we have insurance with these so-called retirement accounts? The purpose is to keep Uncle Sam off our backs. Because you can tell me, oh, I have a 401k, I have mutual fund, and I have $1 million here and $1 million there. Okay, good. How much of that is yours, is my question. So,
I guess that was a great question.
yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. So, yeah, my question is, how much of that is yours versus having $1 million or $2 million in an insurance product that follows the guidelines of the IRS, the 7702 rule, that says if you have a savings account and a life insurance in the same bucket, you no longer are subject to paying taxes. Why not follow that rule? Why not take advantage of it? Knowledge. People didn't know. They don't know. So that's where we come in. So this is part of why I love bringing the information to people, because I just love seeing people get to the next level that they're trying to get to. And I was able to be a small help in their journey.
Yeah.
That's the satisfaction.
One piece of the puzzle, but all those pieces are needed to come together to create a complete picture. And like you said, you give away the knowledge just so freely, which is one of the things that inspired me to give away the knowledge so freely, because you gave it to me, so I pass it along. How can people reach you? How can people find you?
You can find me on social media, Yanic Dos Santos on Facebook or Instagram. You can find me at Unique Financial Alliance, right behind me, Unique Financial Alliance. Or you can call me at 407-232-4232. And I'm based here in Orlando, Florida.
Okay. So last question for you.
Yes.
What does legacy mean to you? Because I know a lot of times in our industry, when we think about the word legacy, and it's become such a buzzword and hot topic, people usually just think about the money that's left behind after paying for a funeral. So what does it really mean to you?
Oof, this is a good one. You saved the best for last. Legacy for me is, of course, I'm looking at the next generation behind me. How can I facilitate the next generation behind me? And of course, I have 2 boys and a daughter. I'm taking so much pride and time in building this brand, not only just for my family, but I'm helping others do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So when your time is up, you can pass the baton to the next generation in such a peaceful way that you've done your part. And at the end of the day, what is the purpose of life? Why are we here? We're here to evolve, learn, and pass on the information. That's what we're here for. So I'm so grateful and thankful that I've been able to accomplish what I have accomplished so far. And I'm not done. I'm just scratching the surface.
Yeah.
Because there's so much more to learn, and I love learning. But legacy in all is just to have that peace of mind, that knowing that I did everything that I could as a father, as a husband, as a brother, as a son, and I didn't leave nothing on the table. To me, that's how legacy touches me.
Oh man, that's powerful. Powerful. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Absolutely.
Is there any last words that you have for the audience?
Yeah, I mean, we all seeing how the world is changing. It's not just now, it's always been like this. The world is always evolving. Don't get caught up in the fear department, so to speak, right? Go for it. You only have one opportunity here in this and on this earth. It's so worth it. Go for it. You didn't want to take that singing lesson, you should. You didn't want to take the cooking class, you should. You contemplated becoming an attorney, you should. At the end of the day, run for what makes you happy. Run for what gives you butterflies in your stomach. Don't run after a paycheck because that gets tired really quick. And if you have that mindset of wanting more out of life, because remember, after you're gone, a year, 5 years, 10 years, how many people are going to remember you?
Mm.
So, was it worth it to not do what you really, truly wanted to do? Don't stop there. Go for it and don't quit.
Okay. Hey, let me ask you this. Have you ever been a teacher, like officially?
Oh my goodness, no! But that was my number one passion. I wanted
Okay.
to pursue teaching, and God had other plans for me.
Hey, but you're still a teacher in some way. You may not be teaching in the classroom, but teaching financial concepts and just
Yep.
helping people get on a better path. I mean, you're doing an amazing job because
Yep.
what you just said reminded me of. You remember what was that show? The Magic School Bus?
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, Miss Frizzle. Shout out
Uh-huh.
to Miss Frizzle. She used to say, take chances, make mistakes, and get messy.
Oh yes, beautifully done. Yes, I
Mm-hmm.
almost forgot about that. Yes,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
so true.
So with that being said, this has been another great episode. Thank you for all the things that you've shared, how you poured into my life, how you poured into other people's lives. And with that, just again, take your chance, make mistakes, get messy, because today your legacy is on the line. So if you're watching this, bye bye. Have a great day.
Thank you for having me.